I was saying that as a sexual couple or married, right? Long-term relationships versus married, to me, they're pretty similar. And this study, oh my goodness, her name, I have a hard time saying their names and I don't want to butcher them. So just if you want the study, let me know. I'll send it to you. But it really is very difficult to find studies on couples' sexual compatibility. Except remember the one I said yesterday, Hurlbert, who was the one that did it back in 1993. And it was really unusual. And even up to now, there are some, but they're just not as, detailed as I would like them to be. But this particular paper, this research paper did a great job. And it really talks about how the old school, describing similarities when you're similar to each other in a relationship. So whether married or long-term, I'm just going to superimpose both together. When you're together for such a long time, people think that when you have similar qualities, right? Similar likes, similar dislikes, similar just, emotions, behaviors, and when you are thinking that you're similar and you're thinking you're compatible, this study says it's not enough. So having similar ways of behaving or similar looks, it's just not enough. You've got to look deeper. And what this paper wants to emphasize is companionship, couples' sexual companionship, what you guys can, basically agree on, solve problems, manage discrepancies. So there are a lot of things that go on in a relationship. And we know that the divorce rate is so high. And because it's so high, we know that there's a reason. Could it be that we're not compatible and we're not looking into it? We're not delving into it? And I think that really is part of the reason. So I want to get into this questionnaire because it really goes into the point. It hits home and it says, listen, y'all, we've got to know whether we're compatible or not way before the relationship gets serious. So it's more of understanding whether you can agree, manage these discrepancies or difficulties or differences in the relationship, especially sexually, right? And it does have some similar components to it, right? You have to have some similarities, some basis to get together. There's got to be an attraction, there's got to be a connection, yes. But the real point is old school definition of being similar is not the focus. Companionship is whether you guys can actually resolve differences. Okay? So remember, being able to solve problems, or like I said yesterday, get to the problem before it even happens intuitively. I think this is going to happen, so I'm going to do this to avoid conflict or to avoid a big heated argument, right? Okay, so that being said, the first thing I want to say is I want to talk about the variables in this study. This study actually has variables a little bit similar to what I talked about before, but I want to focus on and read what their variables are because they're very important. Number one variable, requirements of a sexual relationship. So according to the study, there are certain requirements that you have to have in a sexual relationship. Isn't that cool? Now, get this. Number one, couples' love for each other. Now, isn't that cool? I love it because, again, love, some people don't believe in love.